me, Big Mo. Hey guys. Oh, today we're going to be doing odds and sods. Hence the name of the video. And which means we're doing odd jobs and cutting some sod. Oh, I probably won't show you the mowing stuff because I do that all the time. But I will be recording us going around, starting up, turning on these irrigation systems for the season. And I'll only record one because if I recorded all of them, it would be horribly redundant. But you'll get the idea because they're all sort of similar. So we'll do that, and then we will go and we're going to clean out a vegetable garden for a customer, and we'll be tilling it up. So before we do that though, I'm going to give you a little story, a history lesson, a warning, if you will. Always make sure your equipment that you're carrying, wheelbarrows, ladders, what have you, all of it, make sure it's all secure when you are going out on a job. Because way back when, way long time ago, when we first started out, I worked for this guy, and we were up on one of the mountains around here. I think it was Elder Mountain, if you're from this area. And we were up there, and we were, I think, pruning stuff and doing a big mulching job. So yeah, we got done with the job. We're in a big truck, a big it's like a, I guess like a miniature dump truck. It had a dump bed on it, deep, you know, a deep bed on it. And we loaded the stuff up in there, and we had the ladder up in there, and the ladder was sticking up out of the bed, literally no more than, at the most, like a foot and a half, up out of the bed. That's it. Out of this whole big long freaking ladder, about a foot and a half was sticking up. And we took and put the picks and shovels and everything else, we put it kind of against the bottom of it. Well, we got out on the freeway. This other guy was driving, and I look up in the mirror and I see every bit of it fly out of the bed. The ladder pulled the picks, the shovels, the rakes, the everything. Amazingly, it was crazy. Pulled every bit of it out of the bed of the truck and out into the middle of the before mentioned freeway. And then I see a car that was behind us hit it, and they run over all that stuff, slam on their brakes. Then the car behind them, bam, hits them in the back. Needless to say, that was a doo-doo moment. Okay, so we pull over, we go back there, we start dragging what's left of these tools, mangled ladder, broken shovels. We start dragging this stuff out of the middle of the freeway there. And of course, you know, the police get called because it's an accident. And so we're sitting there. I call the boss up, and I'm like, hey, you know, this happened. So he comes down there. And that just goes to show that some crazy stuff can happen with stuff flying out of trucks. Because there was literally just a little bit, a small percentage of that ladder was sticking up out of that bed, but it hit it just right somehow. I still don't know how that happened, but it happened. And amazingly, and probably unjustly, we didn't get blamed for it. And I'll tell you why. The police officer was like, at the end of it all, when he was out there doing his investigating what happened, talking to everybody, he came up to us and he was like, okay, we're gonna let you guys go. Nothing, when technically wasn't your fault, because it doesn't, he said, it doesn't matter if a 747 falls out of the sky. If a car hits another car, if that car stops and the car behind it hits them, it's the car behind them's fault. And that's the way it went down. It wasn't our fault at all, somehow. Now, if it had flown out and gone through a windshield of a car, which thank God it didn't. If it had done something like that, that would be a whole different story. But it fell out, and the car behind it shouldn't have been as close as they were, and they hit the stuff, and then that car behind them shouldn't have been that close behind them, and they hit them. Somehow, it wasn't our fault, technically. But that's just a little story, a little warning. Always be safe and make sure things are secure, and they're not, especially if you're getting out on a highway or a freeway and going faster speeds. Just make sure you have everything tied down. So with that being said and that out of the way, let's go now. We'll move on to the turning the irrigation system on. This should be fun. Come on. Okay, here we are at the first one, and I've got everything I need right here in this handy dandy bucket. By the way, today's program is brought to you by Home Depot. Just kidding. So what we're going to do here, first thing you're going to do is make sure you have all your tools. One important tool is these gloves with the little grippy gloves. It helps with anything you got to turn, or also gives you a little protection from something I'm going to show you here in a minute. You need one of these, which is to turn the water meter on and off. I like this one because it's compact. You can put it in a bucket, don't stick up, you know, and then you just whoop, like that. On this particular one down here, it doesn't have a garden meter. Around the Chattanooga area, they usually will have a regular meter that goes to their house like this, and beside it there'll be a garden meter, you know, over to the side. But for some reason in this area here, they don't have the garden meters. So we're going to pretend that this is a garden meter right here, even though it's not. This is the actual meter that runs all the water to the house. So you would have this ready for that. Have you a good pair of vice grips, you know, to turn some of these valves, regular screwdriver, and one of the most important things is one of these little handy dandy screwdrivers. See that? Because a lot of times you can't get to something I'm about to show you. So I guess the first thing you do, which I've already done, is down there in the back you go to the lowest part, or the farthest part of the irrigation system. You find a valve down there, like the last valve in the line, and you manually turn it on. You can turn them on and off manually, or they turn on electronically. They're basically they're just like a solenoid that's just like in your washing machine. So I will manually turn that off. I've opened it at the end of the season. I'll turn it off now. Okay, so that's already done down there. Then what I do is I'll look in these and inspect things, because black widows love to hang out in these things, okay, in these boxes. So kind of inspect around. You know, you don't want to get bit by a black widow. You know, that would kind of ruin your day or your week. So the regular screwdriver here, I use it for opening these. They have like a little trigger thing here, and you can also, if that's messed up, you can pry them open. Then the last thing you'll do is turn that on. That's already on, like I said, that's the regular meter, but let's say it's the garden meter. You will turn that on last because you don't want any chaos. So what you have down in here, let me say this for just a second. What you have down in here, you stay right there. What you have down in here is your backflow preventer, okay? And that is, it's made for, so any chemicals or anything that are put on your lawn or just anything in general can't go back, hence the name backflow, into the water supply, you know, that's going into your house or other people's houses. So these have to be here. And like I said, most of the time I don't have this cut off. You know, I don't know why this one is cut off. I usually don't have these valves here cut off if they have a garden meter, because it's cut off there. There's no need in turning them off. But as it is right here, you have to cut it off here, because that's the only way you can, that's all you got. That's the only way you can cut it off. And in this case, which I don't like that, because in this case, this valve, see, all these are valves. Every one of these are valves. And this is got a thing on it so you can blow it out, you know, with air. You can blow all the water out of the system. That's why this is on here. But yeah, they're all valves, and you have to have this one, you have to leave closed, because there's no garden meter there to turn off. You have to leave this one closed, or water would just shoot up out of it, because it's before this, you see. So yeah, what you want to do, like I said, you'll get that one down there, turn it off on manually, and right here, this valve right here is a master valve. And what it does is, like when your box, you have different zones. You have, let's say you have zone 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, out there. The box will send a signal to each one of those to come on. And the reason for having different zones is kind of twofold. One is that you might not want to water every area the same amount. So, you know, you'd want them to be on different zones. So you might water the beds a certain amount of time, but the back lawn more, you know. And then the other purpose is, if all these zones were on at the same time, you wouldn't have nearly as good water pressure on a particular zone. So it splits that up, where even if you're running them all the same amount of time, it splits it up where you have good water pressure, and it's shooting out far enough on all the zones. But the master valve here, what the box does is it'll send a signal out to this master valve to turn it on, and it will also simultaneously send a signal out to one of the valves to turn it on. I don't know if you needed to know all that, but what I've done, I'm sure, you know, you'll have these little things, you know, and they'll, this one don't really fit on here well because for some reason whoever installed this installed it right on this thing. I mean, right under this. So this thing has been turned off, or on, I should say, manually by me, so I have to turn it off, just like I did the one down in the back. And since I can't get this, you know, this didn't really fit on there well, you can use these vice grips. Here, hold this. You can use these vice grips to turn it back on, but you want to be really careful of these wires, you know, not to mess them up in the process, unless somebody's messed with it. Now these people will mess with things, and I don't know if they've tried to mess with this or not. Yeah, see, because that's opening it. This is closing it. So you'll want it closed. It was closed, I think somebody's messed with it. Don't want to mess these wires up. So, okay, after you do that, what you want to do, if you have room, which you're not on some of these, you're not going to have room to get a screwdriver because it'll be real tight. It might be right up against the, you know, for some reason it might be like here, and you won't be able to get a screwdriver in here. This particular one, you have plenty of room. Can you get down in there a little bit? This particular one, you have plenty of room to reach all these, but if you don't, that's where this little tool comes into play, where you can get in there and it's like having a tiny short screwdriver, you know, because even some of these are so close to the box that that you can't even get like a little short screwdriver, you know. So this is about as short as you can get a screwdriver, basically, in that sense. So what you do is you want to look down here. Like I said, this one's already closed because if it weren't, there'd be water shooting up out of it. So what you want to do is you want to close these, which would bring that screw sideways. Like in that one, you can't see. Try to get down right on top of this. I might can see it. I'll try to get a close-up of it. I'll try to, but when you turn this, move your hand a little bit so I can see though. When you turn this, you can see the ball sometimes. I don't think you can see it right now. You can see the ball fill that hole, so you'll know it's closed. But the trick to these is they spin. You know, they'll spin all the way around, so you might not get it. You might go too far and not get it closed all the way. You might close it so far that you open it back up. Oh, there's one. This one you can see good. Watch. See that? See that close right there? Okay, so now you have all these closed, we hope. And this I want to open. And these things get stiff, you know, they rust easily, these do, and they can even break off if you don't watch it. So what I'm going to do now, we have the valve on, or closed in the back. We have this one closed, we hope. what I would do normally is I would turn, this wouldn't even be off. Like I said, this would already be on. And then what you want to do, let's say that this one was off. You'd put it on there and you'd put it up here. Ever so slowly and ever so gently. You want to treat it like a woman, you know. You want to be very tender and gentle at first, you know. You don't want to just full bore go at it, you know. You want to take your time and ease into it, you know. But be aware, you know, she could be a squirter. So like this right here, down here, these valves, if you turn this on, don't have your face, like I'm gonna be over here by it. I'm not gonna be turning it on here. I'm gonna be right over here by it. So I don't wanna have my face up over this while I turn this, because you could get a snoot full of water. So if you turn the water supply on and you don't have these valves off, you know, you're gonna have like a fountain show going off, you know. So you want to make sure. So let's see what happens. And right here, I'm going to go slow. I'm going to try to go slow and turn this valve. Like I said, watch your face. You don't want it over these. And you hear it? That's a good sign. There you go. So what the last step is, what you do is you go in here. It's dark. Oh, the light came on. How convenient. Stop. Drop. Roll. No. And then what you do is you just turn this on. See, it's on the opposition. You turn it to auto. Go from off to auto. And then it's ready to rock and roll. That's that. And now we will move on to the next odd job. Well, in between, I'm gonna be cutting on a bunch of these systems, but in between then, or after that, we're gonna go do the next odd job. So I will see you then, right here like magic. Pow! So what we're gonna do now is clean out this little vegetable bed. Back here, woo, windy. We're gonna clean this out. And I'll just set the camera up here and do a little time lapse action.
A shame, think something new under the sun. You can't take back them things you already done. No. You blame things that you do on somebody else. No. But they all see is you need help. But still you try so hard to cover up your games. You try so hard, hoping that one day something gon' change. You waste all of your time covering up your tracks. Spend all your days running away. Now you gotta watch your back, and that's the facts. You spend so much of your life scheming and trying to get over. Got you wondering why you come around. All you get is cold shoulder. Yeah. You try so hard to cover up your games. You try so hard, hoping that one day
So they usually put those poles back themselves, but this time he's decided he wants us to do it. So I'm gonna have to go get buy a post hole digger because I recently broke mine. So I need a new one anyway. So I'm gonna run to the store real quick and buy a post hole digger and dig the holes for those poles. He's placing bricks where he wants them back, and yeah, so we're gonna go do that and then we'll be back in a bit. So, on third hole, they broke, and I should have known better than to buy a tool at Home Depot. Yeah, there goes the sponsorship. Yeah, I'm gonna take it back now, and I'm gonna go get my money back and go to Lowe's, and hopefully get something that'll be quite a bit better than that, because that was doo-doo. So yeah, don't get cheap ass post hole diggers from Home Depot. Lesson learned. Okay, lesson learned. You want real, some kind of real tool, go to a different store. Don't go to Home Depot. We got these right here. Steel, baby. Stockdales, okay, and they were only $20 more than the cheap crappy ones from Home Depot. So, and I can tell by the heft of these, and I can feel that. You see what I'm saying? It's quite a bit heavier, but you can just tell it's better. A lot better quality for just $20 more. So yeah, Stockdales, the sponsor of this video. Just kidding. Okay guys, that's done. It's a wrap, so to speak, I think, unless it comes out here, tells me something else. There you go. The new post hole digger did great, and I have a feeling I'll be able to use that for a long time to come. It's heavy duty, so to speak. And guys, if you like our videos at all, give it a thumbs up please, and subscribe to the channel so you can see more of our stuff. and ring the bell, of course, if you're feeling froggy. And guys, be safe out there. Until next time, love ya, mean it. Boo!